What's up everyone? So for this video, if you see right here on the letters, you can see what appears to be a drop shadow. This is a technique that many of you may have seen on Instagram, which most likely you did if you're into lettering or looking at the work of other lettering artists. And I'm going to show you a very simple and easy way on how to achieve this drop shadow without having to go into Photoshop. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so here is the lettering that I'm going to use. Just did question everything, and the marker that I used was just a gold Sharpie marker, and this is 32-pound paper. So let me show you. One thing that you want to take into consideration is the letters where the drop shadows would actually be, and how the flow of the marker would be, where you went down and lifted up and started the next letter. So that is one thing that you want to take into consideration, like here, where, and also where it overlaps as well. Like there would be a drop shadow there, right here, here, going there, right here, there. And now the next part is I'm going to show you how to apply the drop shadows. This is a Staedtler lead holder. You can use basically any regular pencil. I'll show you both. So I'm going to use regular pencil and a lead holder pencil to apply the drop shadows. And make sure to not overdo it and to be very, gentle and not rough with it, because you don't want to mess up your piece and have to do the whole thing over again. Okay, and I am back. So let's go ahead and get started with adding in the drop shadows. Let me zoom in. So this way, okay, the lighting is good. Just want to go down nice and gently. And then if you can tell, it looks like a drop shadow. And the pencil I use my lead holder. You can see I've been using it quite a lot. I use this more than like a regular pencil, especially when I'm doing my lettering work. And now for regular pencil, just to show you that the tools do not matter. It's about the person using them. This is a technique that a lot of other artists use on Instagram, and then you'll ask them, how did you do that effect? And they would never tell you. As if they're scared. So I'm going to speed up this part of the video. I'm pretty sure you don't want to sit here and watch me go through and do this on each letter. But if you see, look at the effect that it's giving. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And also another good thing about using the lead holder is how you can have the lead sharpened to a really sharp point. These normally are used for drafting, but a lot of lettering artists use them. And let me show you one more thing really quick. If you do purchase one, make sure to get the sharpener, because once you get that, you're good to go. And of course, lead. You see what I'm doing? Take into consideration of how the light is going to be hitting. It would be coming from this way. So it's a very simple technique. Only thing you need is paper, paint marker, and a pencil. And you want to do it on, well, you want to use a marker where you can actually have drop shadows. Like, how do you say, like black wouldn't work. You use red, anything that is light, but you'd have to use possibly like a different, like you wouldn't be able to use a regular pencil. Probably have to use like a jelly roll pen for certain colors. Okay, let's get back to finishing this up. And I'm not pressing really hard at all, just nice and gentle. And you see it's giving a character. And don't want to confuse that because this is an H and that is a crossbar of the T. See, look at that. This is a simple trick to make your lettering work. Stand out even more. And learn how people do the secret shading that they, at times, are so arrogant at times or just afraid to share. And I figured it would be good for me to share it with you all, because it was a technique that I learned from, just being on Instagram and looking at a lot of people's work. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I'll start here at the top. Oh, see, I missed that part where this is a cue just in one of my styles. So, okay, we do a quick recap. Let's go through. If anything was missed. And right here on the end, there's actually no, like if I could add one in here to add some dimension to the end. And that is totally up to you, but once you start out doing this technique, I would, tend to shy away from doing that. Okay, and now here, so right here on the E, could do one, add part in there to give some dimension to the E. And then you see what's happening here. That's what happens when you go too far with this eraser. When you go too far with trying to add in too many drop shadows. Because not every, use this as an example. That's when you try to do too much detail. There's nothing wrong with having too much detail, but certain things like that, you do not need to have in the detail. Because this part right here, the marker wouldn't be lifted up. I didn't lift it up, I just went like that. And that's why that part didn't work. So you see, for the rest, everything works out pretty well in regards to the drop shadow. So you want to go in the direction. So I went down here, and then I just lightly added in some lead to create a drop shadow effect. And the same here. You could do both sides if you want to get fancy with it, but at times it can look kind of weird doing both sides. Let me give you an example. Because if you see, it's like both sides of that doesn't look as good as it did before when it was just one side. And then here on the H, right here, here, and here, and almost missed that. And right here where it crosses over. And that is how you do the simple drop shadow technique. So remember to not overdo it with detail. This right here is a good example. Keep it simple. Don't try to add in too much detail. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.